Political intelligence on the last-minute decision by United States of America, the Speaker, Johnson, to stop, or rather to block, to cancel a request by the Democrats for William Ruto to address the joint sitting is something that captured the State House unaware. And even 2 days after that statement, they're still tight-lipped about this, even though the reporting by the media outlets, it came out as a big blow to the organizers, a big blow to President William Ruto. They were all, let's not lie, they were all positive vibes and the positive optics with President Ruto addressing that joint address, that joint session in US. There was all, much as we were not really supporting it, so much as we didn't know what was behind it, but of course there were some bonga points. That's the truth. You cannot say that it was not necessary, it was not important. It was coming with some dividends. That's the bottom line. It was actually coming with some dividends. Political bonga points. Now, when that information was issued, the State House has remained tight-lipped. So this podcast, I want to show you what transpired and what of the different leaders have been raising as part of the intel behind it. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, I was running today on Monday. I'm running just a one-day appeal today. I have a sister here that you can see there who was involved in an accident and hit and run. Yeah, and so we rushed her to Kenyatta, and she's now stable. I think that we've realized she's now stable. We're able to resuscitate her, and took her to theater. She came out, and she's now well. But of course, that comes with a huge chunk of bill. So that is why I'm also reaching out to you, just for this Monday, whatever kidogo tutapata from you, we'll top up with what we have, so that we can put that behind us and fully come back and concentrate on the work. So kindly support us on that. Now, civil society organizations are reported to have wrote letters through the US Embassy on some areas that they would want America to raise accountability on President Ruto. Remember, this meeting had high stake. The trip by the president had high stake both in US and even here in Kenya. Because there are quite a number of, there are many organizations, NGOs and civil society organizations that this is the time, this is the opportunity they can also get audience with the US. And some of these letters were not looking well. According to Gitobi Manyara, there is question on accountability of the public money. The accountability questions borders around some of these scandals that have been coming. And I want to use the two recent ones. The fertilizer subsidy could be here, but that is not, but mostly donor-funded projects. America is one of the biggest donors, and have been supporting malaria program for quite some time. I'm not sure that they still support it, but I think they still support it. And also there have been accountability question even on the climate change funding. Yes. It's been simplified as just go and plant trees and you've been told go and buy seedlings, But there is a lot of income there. The information there's a lot of funding that is coming in the country on those fronts. So some civil society organizations in that space demanded that the US should, amongst the things that President Ruto should actually talk about is those accountability questions, accountability on corruption and some donor funds. Remember, we've misbehaved in the past. Last year, there was a tender Yaneti, and we misbehaved around it, where people wanted this tender and they don't even have the capacity to supply it, and we really painted our image in a bad note. So I understand that is one of the facts that was raised. Number two is the breach of human rights, violation of human rights. Most recently, during demolitions in Madare, we understand there is Madare Justice Center. Is it Huruma Justice Center, if I'm not wrong? And some police went there, descended on those locals, on people that were in the office, the management. They were arrested and even taken to Pangani police station during just these demolitions. And I remember when Martha Karua was dispatched, Martha Karua rushed there to go and help them offered pro bono services to help them seek release. And even during the last protest that was called by Raila Odinga, there's so many deaths that still remain accounted for by the state because they bore that breach, violation of human rights of the population. So this is another matter that was highly raised with these letters. And I think what they demanded, because one thing is they cannot write letters to US. They can only write to Meg Whitman. So if there is someone who is advancing, I want to believe, even if the decision to stop it came from here, then it had to come from Meg Whitman. And that is why I'm looking at Meg Whitman as the person that would have lobbied, because they do both sides. If what Gitabu Manyanyara is saying is what is true, if we go by what Gitabu Manyanyara is saying, then what it means is Meg Whitman, the Oniseti. 3 is the democratic space in Kenya. And there have been also questions about that. Now, do you know, recently, I just want us to look at this. The US envoy on Horn of Africa, Mike Hammer, met the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and as you can see in this photo, and the discussion was bordered around DRC, conflicts and peace in the region. And then he went and met Adan Duale 2 days later. And then Adan Duale revealed through his Twitter page that the discussion was about the withdrawal of soldiers from Somalia. So even as President Ruto is going to Somalia, this issue, contention about Somalia, is emerging. It was also another interest that America is having. Now, according to the two forces, the forces that have been there, there have been plans to withdraw the forces from Somalia so that the local security structures in Somalia takes charge. But Somalia requested, and the last batch to withdraw, that withdrawal had started, is supposed to be, I think in July, yes, was supposed to be in July. But Somalia requested that withdrawal be delayed for 3 months more so that they will be able to put up things in structure. They will have to put up their structures. And America stands with Somalia in that. So one of the mission of Mike Pence has been to lobby, even within these member countries, so that that is delayed. Now Kenya has said that that can only be ratified, which is not even a position of Kenya, but that is the right thing, that the decision for Kenyan soldiers to continue being in Somalia can only be made. That decision can only be made by United Nations and African Union and United Nations Security Council, because they have to avail resources. So America has been pushing for that interest in Somalia. And that is why I'm telling you that the Somalia The withdrawal of soldiers in Somalia is also another factor on table, and someone was even whispering that, you know why, one of the reasons why Somalia is very bitter with Kenya, even on this Raila's bid, is because of there are quite a clique of people that don't want, even these candidates can have support from very dark forces, because the people who don't want the Kenyan soldiers there, even though that mission was for the interest of both Kenya and them. Our economy was being destroyed. These guys were really terrorizing people in the Kenyan coastal regions. And a couple of strikes, maybe a couple of terrorism incidents in the country. So it was really in the interest of the country, Kenya. Now, do you know today, Meg Whitman met a bunch of some journalists. This is leadership. I just want to show you, I just want to look at that. And I hope I can get that tweet here. He made some meeting, I made a meeting with some leadership of journalists, which was, yes, is here. Excellent meeting today with leading Kenyan journalists to discuss media freedom and upcoming Kenya state visit to United States. You can see Linus Kaikai on RMS. You can see Queen Mbori. Amwik is leader, is an organization of women journalists. Then there is president of Editors Guild, Zabadia Kananu. And so it's been Kenyan Union of Journalists. I think that is Kenyan Union of Journalists too. So, in attempt to maybe drive an agenda, a coverage agenda on this trip. Now I just want to finish by saying this. 3 interpretations I'm seeing from that. State House should, and as a matter of principle, involve non-state actors in that US trip. For Kenya to benefit more. These are B2B, I know they're business people, but also go to CSOs. Go and pick someone from NGOs, civil societies, so that they will pick, because that is also another space that America is big on. America is big on aid, yes, supporting African projects. So that's one thing that they should make there. I think this would also be a prime opportunity for America to market its ties with Kenya. And as to whether America will be able to eclipse China from East Africa through Kenya is a question that Kenya must interrogate well. We cannot underestimate the fact that China is building bridges and expressways and railways across the region. And if reliance on Africa would mean, on US would mean us breaking ties with China, then that's a very delicate balance. It's a matter of wait and see. Thank you very much, guys. That is my take. Allow me to just finish this video today, and I believe we'll pick up our full production on Tuesday, 14th. Asanteni.